Turning now to election news. Junior Senator Kirsten Gillibrand already has 3 Republican challengers, and now it looks like she could face yet another. Orange County Executive Ed Diana may soon become the 4th GOP candidate to challenge the vulnerable Democrat, joining a field that already includes former Nassau County lawmaker Bruce Blakeman, former Congressman Joe DioGuardi, and economist David Malpass. Ed Diana joins us now from Middletown to talk more about his possible decision to run. County Executive, how are you?
Very good, Liz, and thank you for having me on tonight. I'm here to have a great discussion, hopefully.
I'm looking forward to it. So you are leaning, they say, but you have not made the final pulling of the trigger to get into the race.
That is correct, Liz. At this time, we haven't made that final decision, but I can tell you we have imposed on ourselves and my advisors that are very close to me and my family that we will be making this decision by the end of the weekend. We know that is critical. Time is of the essence here at this point in time. We have a convention happening in the first week in June here for the Republican Party, and certainly we have to make that decision very quickly.
Okay, so as I was saying earlier, I mean, there are already 3 individuals in the race. None of them are actually particularly well known, and also a number of high-profile people, including former Governor George Pataki and former Mayor Rudy Giuliani, have taken a pass on this race. So why you, and why now, and why bother? I mean, you have a pretty good gig going on in Orange County.
You're right, Liz. I do. I enjoy being the county executive. I think it's the greatest job you could have. But certainly I can tell you that anything I've undertaken in my lifetime, I was a small businessman, I was a school teacher 31 years, I was a local level person on a town board and a deputy supervisor, went to the Orange County Legislature, so I know the legislative side of the House as well, and now as a county executive for 3 terms. I have always felt that if I can make a difference for the people of New York State, and this is what it is all about right now. I believe people want a person, want a candidate that they can relate to on what's going on around them today. When you talk about jobs, job creation, foreclosures, those things, the economic climate of what's going on out of Albany and certainly out of the nation as well, I think a lot of people are dissatisfied with what they're hearing and what they're seeing at those levels of government.
Okay, but have you met...
I've been thinking about it.
You have, okay. But how long have you been thinking about it?
We've been thinking about this, Liz, probably for about 5 weeks now. I had spoken to Chairman Cox at that time. I had spoken to Mike Long, the Conservative Party chairman as well, because that would be critical endorsement as well. I have spoken to Mr. McKay, the Independence Party chairman. That would be a critical endorsement as well to move forward in a positive direction. To take on a sitting United States Senator. We understand that.
Have you
met...
But
I think the time is now.
You think, have you met, I'm sorry, Bruce Blakeman or David Malpass or Joe DioGuardi, who's probably closest to you geographically speaking? Have you met any of these guys? I mean, what's wrong with them?
Yes,
why not endorse them?
Okay, I have met Mr. DioGuardi. I have met Mr. Malpass, and I know about Mr. Blakeman. They're all fine individuals. They all are fine men running for the United States Senate. I believe my candidacy is a little bit different than that. Like I said earlier, my background as a small businessman, a teacher, an elected official. And I believe that's public service. I believe it's the highest acclaim you can have as being elected by your peers to represent them in any form of government that they see fit. I believe the work I have done as the county executive in the fastest growing county in the state of New York, the job creation that we have brought here, the new businesses that have now relocated to Orange County. We're working on one from Orange County, California, that's going to be relocating here to Orange County, New York. Unheard of in the past. Those kind of things. That I believe my candidacy is just a little bit different than Mr. Blakeman, Mr. Malpass, or Mr. DioGuardi.
Okay.
But certainly that decision will be made by the Republican Party, hopefully the Conservative and Independence Party as well, moving forward. When they hear my message, they hear what Ed Diana is all about, And I hope the people, if we make this final decision, which we will be doing in the next 4 or 5 days, that the people in November will select Ed Diana as the next U.S. Senator from New York State.
Okay, so Kirsten Gillibrand is a pretty prodigious fundraiser. She's sitting on a couple $1 million, somewhere in the $5 million neighborhood, if I'm not mistaken. You know, this is going to be uphill. You are not well known statewide, and you're going to need some cash. My understanding is that you've got a couple $100,000 in your campaign committee, but you can't translate that into a federal race. How are you going to get your name out there, and why not run for something, maybe the state senate, for example, or a lower statewide office?
Sure. Well, Liz, I've always been one that I think eventually the money will come to the candidate that the people believe in, and believe in that message. I have about $340,000 in my campaign funds at this time for county executive. We've raised probably close to $2 million over those runs for the county executive. That's pretty commendable if you talk about just the money aspect of it. We think we have a way of raising a few $1 million, there's no question. We will need help from the New York State Republican Committee as well, and hopefully from the National Senate Committee as well would get behind this race. I've been to Washington. We have talked to the people in Washington. I have spoke to Chairman Cox numerous times, and I have talked to all the vice chairs